Okay. Today we will have an interesting topic to discuss about arrays in JavaScript and then fundamentals of the data types in JavaScript. We'll compare the JavaScript functions as well. But prior to that, somebody has a really good question in the chat. Let me give you guys as well, if I can copy paste, or I can show on Google itself, right? Let's go to lead code. It's a good question. It's a very popularly asked question in interview for JavaScript. Let me ask you guys as well. Close this, put the chat here. Close this, minimize this, fine. Somebody asked this question, it's a good one. Let's see. What do you guys want to say about it? Console.log 3 greater than 2 greater than 1 and console.log 1 less than 2 less than 3. What do you think will be the output of these two lines? Come on guys, be quick. What do you think will be the output of these two lines? You can message to everyone, that's fine. False. Guys, there are two list statements, so I want the answers. You can give separated, false, true, true, false, whatever it is. Okay, true, true, makes sense. All agree, true, true, false, 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 okay. Anybody else? True, true, false, false. Any other combination you guys want to try? Okay. False, true, false, false. Yeah, only 4 combination can exist. I've got all the answers in the chat. The answer would be false and true. Now, this is interesting to understand why this is considered to be false and this is considered to be true. You need to understand something. Any JavaScript, or even in fact in any programming language, when you start executing code, it happens from left to right. Until there is an operator which is associated, operator have some priority whenever you have multiple operators. There also we have priority called board mass, just like we use in mathematics, right? Bracket, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, etc., etc. So whenever you go left to right expression, what is going to happen? Very first thing is that try to understand. You said 3 greater than 2. 3 greater than 2 is true, right? Next, you're saying that true is greater than 1. Now, it will be counted as 1 is greater than 1, which is false. That is why you get the output as false. Part number 1. Part number 2, when you say other way around, when you say 1 less than 2, 1 less than 2 is true. And when you say true less than 3, definitely yes, true will be mapped to 1 and this is less than 3. That is why you get the output as true. Okay. So when you say this statement is nothing. These two statements actually boil down into these two statements. This become true greater than 1 and this become true less than 3. Since true will map to 1 in binary and false will map to 0, this first answer will be false, other answer would be true. Let me run it again. You will get false true and false true. And it's just taking a lot of time for some reason, but anyways, that would be the correct output, false true and false true. So let me take this and go back to Sublime Text. This was the reason. Okay, whoever has asked this, a good question. This is commonly asked question in interview. So good that you asked. Okay. Output, as I have mentioned, it's going to be false true. I hope this part is clear to all. Anybody has doubt in this question, do let me know. Can you explain again? Okay, let me explain again. Expression is always counted, expression is always evaluated from left to right, right? Now, JavaScript, what it does, it tries to convert or typecast into the same type. When left to right will happen, first 3 greater than 2. Greater, less than, equal to, not equal to, all of that will give you result as Boolean, right? True or false. So when you say 3 greater than 2, output will be true. Next, you have to do left to right. So next you have is true greater than 1. True greater than 1, how can you compare a Boolean versus a number, right? So it will typecast the Boolean into number. True is typecast to 1. So by default, 0 is typecast to 1. and 1 is typecast to true, and vice versa. True means 1, 0, false means 0. So when you say true greater than 1, technically you cannot compare a boolean with a number, right? So it will typecast true to a number. That number will be 1. So 1 greater than 1, no. So it is false. Other case, when you say 1 less than 2, so 1 less than 2, it is true. 2 less than 3, you cannot compare a boolean with that number. So in that case, it will typecast, it will become 1, 1 less than 3, true. Output is this. That's why this is false, but this is true. Okay. I hope everybody is clear with it. Any doubt, please let me know. Okay. Let's copy this again. 2 times we are printing, so 2 times will be the output. Something you can see on Sublime text or lead code also. 2 times we printed, 2 times will be the output. Anyways, let's come back to our Sublime text. Let's quickly revise what we have done till the last class, and then we'll continue with today's class. 5th of March, we have been doing the JavaScript fundamentals. So in terms of JavaScript fundamentals, what have we discussed? Let's talk about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. What can JavaScript do? What is ECMA, inline external JavaScript? Is output, syntax, statements, variable versus let versus constant, interview question, arithmetic expression, data types, functions, function invocation, strings, string functions. That is what we have done. We're currently on JS string function and string search functions, and then we'll go for arrays in JavaScript. Let's quickly revise. Last class, we start with function invocation or calling. We already discussed about what is a function. Function is something which is used for a specific portion of the code or specific event of the code, right? There are many ways that you can invocate a function. Invocation means nothing. Invocation means calling. There are many ways you can call a function. How can you? First is based upon an event. For example, I'm clicking a button. I'm doing some alert. Those are event-based functions, event-based function invocation. Second, it can invoke directly from JavaScript. I create a JavaScript function and I just call this function, just like you call a normal function. Third is a self-invoking function. In that case, a recursion. I can create a recursive function just like I create in any other language. I can create in JavaScript, and then I can just call that function. That's it. Okay. Then I talked about JavaScript strings that we are discussing in detail now, and we have to discuss in detail, and then we'll go for arrays. Arrow functions and all that will go in terms of components, right? I'll go to React. You want, I'll cover it. I can cover arrow component. Prefer completing arrow functions in when we go for React. But anyways, I can cover it here also. Moving to JavaScript strings. In terms of strings, we talked about definition, length, loose versus strict check, and slice, right? First thing first, the definition of string. We all know we can define a string. A string is a combination of characters, right? This is how you define a string. This is how you print a string. This is you check the type of string, part 1. Second, obviously, you can update a string because it is a let, it is not a const. Once you update a string, you can print a string, you can print the type of also. Then you have to print the length, you can do string.length. Now, it's also a good interview question to understand a string and a number. So, two difference between double equal to and triple equal to is that in case of a double equal to, it will just check for the value, it will not check for the type. So this 5, although they are string and number, they have the same value, right? Since they have the same value, output will be true. Since they are coming from different values, if you put triple equal to, that is called the strict checking. Not only it will check the value, it will also check the type as well. Since you're checking for the type as well, that condition will become false. So this output will become false. This output would be true. Okay, as you can see here. Then we talked about JavaScript functions. What are the string functions and how do we implement these functions? Let's go one by one. First function is length. I have to calculate the length. That is how you calculate the length. One moment. Okay, that is how you calculate the length. Second function is extracting the strings. What do you mean by extracting the strings? If I want to extract the string from a particular string, how can I do that? So this is my original string Devang Sharma, and if I do console.log str.slice 2,4. Now, what are these parameters 2,4? Let's try to understand. I am given two parameters in terms of start and end. Where I have to start, where I have to end, what portion do I need to extend, that is given here. And obviously, indexing start from 0 in a string, so start to end -1 because indexing start from 0. So when I say 2, so this is 0 index, this is 1, this is 2. So I have to start from V till end -1. End -1, 4 minus 1 is 3. So this is 2 index, this is 3 index. So I'll just populate 2 and 3 strings or extract out 2 and 3 index, right? So that will be V and A. Output will be VA. Then console.log str.slice2. If you don't give any second parameter, in that case, it will go till the end of the string. So it will just print VANG Sharma, right? So we checked out this output. 2 to 4 minus 1, that is equal to 2 to 3. You got the output. it will give you the complete n minus 1. If you give negative index or second parameter is not there, if you just give negative value, in that case, it will start reading from the back of the string. It will give you the last 6 characters. Minus 1 will give you the last 1 character, so on and so forth. That was our slice function. After completing slice function, we move to substring function. Substring function is very similar to slice function, which is used to generate a portion of the string, obviously continuous portion of the string. You define a string, you say console.log str.substring 2, 4. When you say str.substring 2, 4, how will that run? In terms of str.substring, you mention about 2 to index minus 1, very similar to what you have in the slice. So it will also give you the output as VA. You don't give any index, you don't give any end index or second parameter, it will go to end of this. Only difference is that between a slice function and a substring function is when you give a negative parameter, in that case, it will not generate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only difference between a slice and substring function is whenever you give a negative index, it will not going to give you any output. Output in the sense, it will not give you any substring. It will just return the original string. Okay. So str.slice minus 6, it returns you the last 6 characters, returns from the reverse. But in this case, negative end, this will not work. Okay. So negative index will not work in this case. Now, substring cannot accept negative indices that we have discussed. Then we have another function which is called substr. Substr is also similar to slice and substring, obviously with a difference. The difference is that second parameter defines the length of the extracted part. Now, this time I will not be given the indices where I need to extract. This time I will be given the length that I need to extract, right? So in terms of length, I'll be given like this is the string. I give 2, 4. So start from my second index and just take out the 4 characters. So I take out the 4 characters from the second index. Then we talked about what if I don't give any second, what if I don't give any ending index, then it will pick till the end. Then we talked about if I give something which is more than the length. If my length is greater than the size, that will print till the end of the string. And if it is less than the size, then obviously it will calculate till that size. If I give negative characters, in that case, it returns me the last 6 characters. If I give negative character and size, so only 6 characters are available. You're asking me to get 10 characters. So whatever characters available, I'll get that only. You get him negative 10, negative length cannot be negative, so it will not work. It will not give any output here. It will not give any output here. So these 2 lines, it will not give you any output. Okay, that's the difference we've discussed in substr, substring, and slice. This is a concise summary. So substring, you cannot have any negative values. In substr, the second parameter is length, and for negative values, of course, for length, it will not give you any output. That's it. Then we talked about another function which is replace. What do you mean by replace? Whenever you have to update an old value with a new value, that is where I'm going to use the function for replace, right? Now, this is my original string, and I say a.replace Devang, Dev. Devang, Dev means this is the value that I want to replace, and what I want to replace, this is the second parameter. First parameter, what you want to replace, second, with what you want to replace. So only first occurrence will be replaced. This is where a lot of candidates do mistake. Replace first character, I mean the first occurrence. Replace by default, replace only the first occurrence. It will not replace all the occurrences. So if I print it, you will find the replace B or the B statement as first Devang will become Dev, so it will become Dev. Next Devang will remain as it is, Sharma will remain as it is. Also, one more thing, nothing will change in your original string. Dot replace function creates a new string, right? It will not update the original string. It can only update the original string when you do something like this. Only then it will update. Okay. So until unless you are not overwriting it, it's generating a new string. So replace method returns a new string, original math string does not change. Then we talked about few more edge cases that replace is case sensitive. So if I remove this capital Devang, then in that case, it will not be able to replace. It will not be able to replace. You will find the same string again. So if I have to make it in terms of a case insensitive, then I can use regex expression. So regular expression. In terms of regex, I can give string, and according to a give string, I can give a flag to it. So for flag, it can be insensitive. It can be global also. For example, I want to replace with wherever Devang is insensitive, I want to replace with Dev. So since it is insensitive, so it will just replace the first occurrence, right? Now I want to replace for all occurrence. In that case, I can pass G as a flag. So it will replace for all occurrences. I want to give G and I. So type insensitive as well as it's going to replace all characters. In that case, I will have this output, right? So according to a flag, G for global, I for insensitive, you can decide how you want to replace your string. Then we talked about 6 function, which is to uppercase. What is to uppercase? Very simple. Any character is given, any set of characters is given as a string. You can set it to uppercase. And obviously, To uppercase will only work upon the lowercase characters. If something is already in uppercase, it will not be changed any there. If something is a special symbol, a number, they will not be changed to uppercase. Common sense, right? So as an example, if I give K hashtag and @ this will not change. It will remain as it is. Only what you have in the lowercase will be converted into uppercase and vice versa here. If I put it here, this K will change it to small. Apart from that, nothing will change. Uppercase and lowercase functions. Then we talked about concat function. Concat function is used for merging two strings together or adding two strings together. So I can concat by giving a space like this, or I can concat like this also. Output will be same. Then we talked about trim function. What do you mean by trim function? Trim function removes the white spaces from both the ends. So it does not remove white spaces within the string. It only removes the white spaces from both the ends. That is what you mean by trim function. So here you have the code, let a equal to a and b equal to a.trim. When I say a.trim, nothing is on the two ends here. So nothing will be trimmed here. It will remain same as it is, right? Now, if I check a equal to b, I'll get the output true because nothing is trimmed. A triple equal to b, that also is true. But if I do the reverse, let's say I give one extra space, either at the back or either at the front. Now you check, output will be false in both cases. Output will become a quarter by this space being deleted. Now, then we talked about the 10th function. The 10th function was character at. Character at is very similar to what you have in Java. Not just similar, exactly what you have in Java. So if you want to know at index at any particular character, you give character at 0. So character at 0 will be h. You'll get the output h. Any particular index you want to check for. Then we talked about character code at. Now, what does character code at gives me? That gave me the ASCII code for it. Okay, that gave me the ASCII value for it. So character code at 0, if you give me character at 0, I would say the output will be small a. When you give me a character code at 0, it will give me the value, ASCII value of small a. ASCII value of small a is 97, ASCII value of capital A is 65, some ASCII value you should definitely know about. So B will definitely become 98 and C will become 99, etc. etc. Then you move to JavaScript string functions. These are very important. Two functions we have discussed, few more functions we have to discuss. The two functions, first let's talk about the use case. The use case is that if I have to check if a string is contained in another string, part number 1, or if I have to check if one string is substring of another string, in that case, I can do JavaScript string search functions. Within a string, I need to check for a string. It can be character, it can be string, of course. Now, first thing is index of. Very similar to Java. First occurrence of the string, it will give you an answer. Where does the string start from? So hi, hey, and hi, this is the string that you have. You give str.index of hi. Now there are multiple occurrences. So it should give me an array? No, it will just give me the first occurrence. First occurrence is this, output will become 0. In case string is not present, and since you're returning an index, output will become -1. If you give a second parameter to it, because index of accept second parameter, in that case, it will tell you, hey, I want to start searching. Now it will start searching from 3 positions. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. Here it will start searching from. So it will treat string as hi, hey, hi, right? Now here it will, wherever it will find the first occurrence, which is this, the index fit is this, it will return the index 7. If you remove this, by default, the index will become 0. That is the first occurrence. Then we talked about last index of. Let's talk about last index of also. What is last index of? Last index of gives you the last occurrence of the string, right? So if I've given a string like this, if I have to print the last index of I, the last index of I will be this, exactly opposite of index of, right? So output will become 7. Next, if I have to check what if string is not present, if string is not present, in that case, output will become -1. Same in the last index of as well. Second parameter will give me the ending position for search, where I have to end the position. So it will treat the parameter like hi h and hi he and hi hey hi. So that is the last index. That is something that you have discussed in terms of two functions. One is index of, second is last index of. Now we are going to continue our JavaScript string search functions, and then we'll continue from there. Any doubt in the previous class, do let me know. If it is clear, type clear, then we start with our next function. Come on guys, be quick. Okay, all clear. Let me take this as a note. It will be much easier to keep everything in one place. This is where we are. JavaScript search functions, we have talked about. One moment. JavaScript string search function, we have talked about index of, last index of. Now we're going to the third one. In case of trim, we have double equal to and triple equal to. Explain again. It was nothing. It was just said that, let's say, this string Dev, and when you say equal to there. And let's say b equal to a dot trim, right? What does trim do? Trim just removes at the end and from the front. It doesn't remove the space between the string, right? So let's say Dev Sharma, right? Something like this. Now, if I do a equal to b, output will be true because they're both same strings with the value. A triple equal to b, same strings with the value again true. But same code. If I give a space here, now b will become what? B will become Dev Sharma without any space. There is no space here. This will become false and this will become false. Value will be different, and if value is different, then definitely triple equal to will give you different result, right? That is what I've explained here. Triple equal to means strict equal, double equal to means just the value matches. That's correct. In concatenation, if we give plus but we'll give an n. Can you explain this as well, please? In concatenation, if you give plus space plus, because it is not able to evaluate as a string, that's why it gives you not a number, right? So an is actually used for not a number. So it gives you not a number because it is. That's why. Moving on to this. Cool, guys. Any more questions? Or then we can start with our third function for string matching or string searching, basically. Cool. Let's start with our third function. Third function is a search function. JavaScript provides certain search functions in which you can actually search a string. Let's see what does search function do? How does code look like? And next things. Search function returns index of first occurrence. Even this also returns the index of first occurrence, right? How do we return index of first occurrence? Let's quickly see in the code. Here I am. I open the chat window. I'm going to clear the console. I'm going to bring it back here. Remove this. Just want to keep a string. So let string equal to same string I'll keep what I've been using to maintain consistency. And console.log, what I want to search is my string.search. Let's search for hi. What I tell you, it gives you the first occurrence, index of the first occurrence. Hi is occurs here, hi occurs here also, right? Since it occurs here, in that case, the first occurrence will be this, output will be 0. The index that you're returning, that is 0, the very first occurrence. Copy this. Go to Sublime. Here's the code. Output 0 here. Now the question comes, that is also index of also does. What's the difference, right? Index of also gives you the same thing and search also gives you the same thing, right? Then what's the difference? The difference is that in terms of index of, yes, I agree, it gives you the first occurrence, but let's go back to index of. It gives you the first occurrence, but it also has a second parameter. Second parameter gives you the starting position where you want to search, right? So if I don't want to search from the beginning of the string, I can define, hey, I don't want to search from the beginning of the string. This is the position where I want to search from the string, right? That option is provided by you index of. Search does not provide that option. So difference between search and index of is this. There is no second parameter in search. Search does not have second parameter. That's it. Okay. Then we talked about fourth, which is match. What do you mean by match? Let's talk about match function. Match is the fourth function that we're going to discuss in terms of string search. Match is interesting because match is something which we commonly use in our React also. React is just a framework, it's just TypeScript or JavaScript that you use, but very popular we use for our map filter, for map reduce, etc. etc. What does match give? Match gives you array. Match does not give you an index, match does not give you true, false, match gives you an array. Array containing the match. Okay. And it will give you null if no match. Repeating it again, match function will give you an array containing the match. It will give you null if no match found. Let's go to the lead code. Let's try out in terms of code. I'll keep the same string. I'll clear the console. Let's go ahead. This is the let string that we have. Now what do I want to print is string.match, and I want to print hi. Wherever it will find high, it will give me the output. Let's run the code. What did it give you? It gave you an array. It gives you an array. It gives you the array in the sense, hi, I found the index 0. Input hi, hey, hi, hey. Groups is undefined. Groups you don't need to focus as such. It just gives you the output that, hey, I'm able to find high in these places. Let's clear this. Let's just type this. That is fine. It will not match with the string. What if I just give check globally? Yeah, now it will give you just high and high. What happens in that case? I want it to check it globally rather than just the first instance. In first instance, it gives you the output that, hey, I'm able to find it at 0. I want an array output. In that array output, I just want, hey, wherever I can find this string, I've not made it case insensitive. I just made it global. Wherever find this string, just give me the output. So how many occurrences it has found? It has found 2 occurrences, which is correct. It has found 2 occurrences, it will give you 2 output. If I want to change it to, let's say, this becomes small high and this becomes high. I want to make it global and I also want to make it case insensitive. What do you think will be the output of this one? You make it global, also you make it case insensitive. Okay, let me give you options. Let me give you options. Will the output be high, high? Will the output be high, high? Will it be this one? Or will it be this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think will be the output? Just answer the number 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think will be the output? Second case, I'm talking about 6, 1. 3, 2, okay, 3, okay, 1, 3, 3, 1, 2, okay. Many different answers. Let's run the code and see. And it doesn't give you any code because you have defined let 2 times, which is fine. Let's remove the let. The correct answer is high and high. That output was 3. Third option that we talked about. Understand this and understand this again. What do you get in the output? By the output of match is array containing the match. Array containing in the match. So in original string, whatever match has happened in the original string, that will be generated. When I say capital H and small I, I'm looking for globally. Wherever I find capital H and small I, that is where I'll find. I find it here, HI and HI, both capital, returned as output. Easy case. Second case, I provided small h, small I. Globally, I don't want to have a look. Globally, I want to have a lookup and I want case insensitive. So this capital H and I, this will satisfy the condition. But that does not mean I will replace with the original string. I cannot replace the original string which is present. Match function is telling me what is present in the original string. Now you can give any string, you can put any filter, you can put any flag, but that does not mean you will update the original string. This original string hi matches with the criteria that you have given here. That is correct. But as the output of the match, you will only give whatever is present in the original string. So that's why the first output is capital HI. Second output is match as it is without using any filter as such. So you get the same output. That's the difference. Okay. Taking the code to high, hey, high, high. Good edge case. So let's talk about that also. What you have given high, hey, high, and high. Okay. What do you think will be the output, guys? Quickly. That's a good question. That's a good edge case. What do you think will be the output, guys? Quickly. That's correct. That would be the output. In terms of wherever you have find the high, it will just print that output, right? This is just checking for string matching. Even as a substring, if it is present, it will give you the output. Okay. So first two are same. In third case, it find the HI, so it just return the HI. It's not returning the complete string. Okay. Here also, it is not returning the complete string. It is just giving wherever matches that value. That's it. Copy this. Paste it here. There goes a code part. And there goes the output part. Okay. Few points to made here, just to be clear. Point number one is that returns the array from original string and not from the search string. That is part number one. Part number two is that when you're given this value, returns the substring, not the complete string for search value. That's it. Okay. That was the fourth function. Then we have fifth function also, which is includes. What does includes do? Let's have a look for that. Includes is very much similar to what you have dot contains in Java. If any of the Java developer, you would definitely know dot contains, right? What does dot contains does? Dot contains just tells you Boolean, right? True or false. It also returns you a simple Boolean, whether whatever you're searching is present or not present. That's it. Now, similar to dot in Java. Now let's go to our lead code. Let's quickly run this, clear this, keeping the same string. Now what I want to do is I'll just close it. Console.log. I'll just clear it. In terms of console.log, what do I want to do? str dot includes. What do you think will be the output? True or false? Is hello as a substring present here? No, output would be false because it is not present. Moving this, here you go code, here goes the output would be false. Easy, right? Now let's check the success scenario also. If I replace this string with, let's say, hi, run this code. Now the output will be true because hi is present here as a substring. There you go in the code, there you go in the output will become true. Now what next? In terms of next, there's one more thing called second parameter. Let's talk about second parameter also. Includes does contain a second parameter. What is that second parameter? Let's talk about it. Second parameter to includes, what does it do? It tells you where to start searching, from, right? You'll tell the position where do you want to start searching from. So let's go back to our code. There we are. We have the console. Now, I want to give a second parameter that, hey, I want to search. And this output will be true, right? But if I change something like, let's say, hey, I want to give a second parameter in 7. What do you think will be the output of line number 4? Shown as output of line number 4 quickly. That's correct. Line number 4, what are you telling? What are you telling the JavaScript is that, hey, I want to search whether A is present just from the 7th character. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7th character, you don't have anything, right? Run the code, you'll get the output as false. Copy this, go back to Sublime Text. There we are, and here is the code output. First output true because it is present. Second output, post that index, it is not present. So output will be false in that case. And these are the string functions that we need to know. So let's quickly revise in terms of JavaScript string search functions. What have we done? One moment. If we remove this, paste it up. Okay. We are moving quickly on JavaScript. Anyways, what we start with, string search functions. We talked about 5 different string search functions where I have to find if a string is contained in another string or not, or if a string is substring of another one or not. First, I use an index of function where I have to check the first occurrence of the string. The index, where does the string start from? That will give me the index, where does the string start from, right? If string is not present, it will give you output -1. It contains a second parameter, which tells me the starting position for search. Now, last index of, what does last index of does? In terms of last index of, it gives me the last occurrence of the string. String is not present, give you -1. Second parameter is the ending position for search, just similar to index of. Third is the search function. Search functions also gives me the index of first occurrence, although there is no second parameter. Fourth is the match function. Match function gives me the array returning the match, right? No null if no match is found. When I say array, it's giving me match and useful use case. Useful use cases, you have to find all occurrence of a string in terms of array or in terms of indices. In that case, you will go for match, because rest of the function, they're not giving you all occurrences. They're just giving you first occurrences or last occurrences. In case I want to have all occurrences, in that case, I will definitely use the match function. And match function by default gives you the actual strings where you have found it. And obviously, you can put a map filter or map reduce on the top of it, where you can just find the indices. Okay. Then finally, we talked about the include. There are 2 nodes which I have listed. Returns the array from the original string, not from the search string. Returns the substring, not the complete string for search value. Then we talked about includes, pretty much similar to Boolean. If it exists, true. If it doesn't exist, false. Second parameter, where do you want to search from? That we got the output. These are the 5 functions we discussed in detail. Everybody clear with this? To let me know. Then we can start with our next topic. Okay. Let's start with our next topic, which is arrays in JavaScript. Okay. Arrays probably would have learned in different languages, C++, Java, or any other programming languages. Let's start with arrays in our JavaScript. How does we implement arrays in JavaScript? Let's quickly have a look. I'll directly write it on the lead code and then we can come back here. Just like the way you define array in pretty much Java also, you can just define an array. This is an empty array as of now. I can define the value array of 0, let's say, Devang, and array of 1 as Shannon. So I've given 2 values, array 0, array 1, since these are not strictly type language, so I can define them very free to flexible in terms of the data type I want to use, in terms of the size I want to keep. Now what I do, I type console.log array. First thing, I want to check what is the array. Run it. I got the array Devangsham. As you can see, there is a square boundary that shows it is an array, right? Now, I want to check the length of my array. Array.length. This is something which you use to calculate the length of your array. Clear this, run this. I got the output 2. How do I know the output 2? Because there are 2 elements here. Makes sense? I want to print a particular element at a particular index. So that you can do by indexing array 0. This is how you access the first element. If I have to access the last element, how would I do that? If I have to access the last element, I would say array of array.length -1. That will give you last element, right? So let's clear this one. Let's run the code. You got the output as Sharma. So this is the first element. This is the last element. Easy, nothing to worry about here. Can I change the elements of the array? Of course I can, right? So array of 0, I want to change it to something else. Let's change it to this. I can. What will happen if I print it? Run the code again. I'm able to change it, no doubt about it, right? Now next part comes traversing an array. Instead of writing here, let me write here. Changing the array element. Now, traversing an array, what I can do to traverse an array, I can define the length here. I can say array.length, keep it in a variable. Just like you simply do a loop for I equal to 0. So for let I equal to 0, I less than what? Your length, I plus plus. Any other language that you do, you can use the same here. Console.log, I want to print array of I. What do you think will be the output? Quickly tell me in the chat. What do you think will be the output? Quickly tell me in the chat. Correct. It'll print the array element, which is Dev and Sharma. So run the code, you'll get the output as Dev and Sharma. This is the output which I was talking about. Okay. Quick question. I want to print this all the array elements in one line separated by space. How can I do that? By default, console.log will always add a line. All agree? Even if I give a plus here, let me show you. Even if somebody is thinking that this will work, let me show you back before asking that. Again, it will just add the next line. Console.log by default prints in the next line. If I don't want to print in the next line, it always prints in the next line. What can I do so that I can have the same output? I want to output something like Dave and Shell. A bit of space. Tell me guys, what can I do? Anyone? Question is clear to all? I want all the elements of the array to be printed on the same line, separated by a space. I don't want to keep a line difference between them. Question clear to all? Okay. Anything else apart from console.write? Let's try this console.write. If that works, let's quickly run this. Doesn't work. Console.write. Anything else? Console.write is not even a function. I'm thinking in the right direction. The code for the, before I tell you, anybody else who wants to try? Guys, if you remember, I told you 5 ways how you can print output in JavaScript. I hope you guys remember. One of them was console.log. One of them was creating an event and creating a notification. One of them was printing. There was one more which was write function, right? Process.std.write. That is something we use. Process.stdout.write. That's it. And this, you got the output Dev Sharma in one string. That's it. Okay. You got the output Dev Sharma in one string or one line, separated by space. So run this back. Here this, run the code, you got the output like Dev space Sharma. Okay. Now what do we have? We got this. Now let's move to next part. Next part is what? If I have to add an element to an array, my array is already containing 2 elements. I have seen how I can change one element. If I have to add an element to an array, how can I do that? I can say array.push. Let's push 40. And now I print the array. Console.log array. Clear it. Run the code. Okay, I have to give a space between them. So console.log, just one space I've given. Clear this, run this here. Now we'll have 3 elements. Dev Sharma and coding. By default, when you push, it's always push at the end. Okay. Any doubts so far? Everybody clear? Any doubts so far? Easy. All clear? Okay. Now let's start with the important topic of arrays. I mean, all topics are important, but these are like easy to medium. Let's start with something hard, which I'm going to start with. Not even hard. Let's talk about sorting. How do we sort in an array, right? I want to create an array here. 5, 4, 2, 32, 100. And this is an interview question also. Why it is? We'll talk about it. Array2 dot sort, just like you do arrays dot sort, you do array2 dot sort, which is a normal sort, right? A very basic normal sort. And I do console.log array2. This is also interview question, and the follow-up is also interview question. These 3 lines of code, what will be the output? These 3 lines of code, what will be the output? That's fine, but what is the sorted array? I want the output. Whatever the sorted array, I want the output, everybody. 2, 4, 5, 3100. Okay, makes sense. All agree. 2, 4, 5, 32. Okay, yeah, that's fine. 2, 4, 5, 3200. Also, all makes sense. Okay. Let's run it and see. Do I get the same output? 2, 4, 5, 3200? No. And that's why I said it's an interview question. Understand again what happened. Prior to that, we have discussed everything, so I'm not revising of them. Focus here, what is happening. 100, 2, 32, 4, 5. Neither it is ascending order, nor it is descending order. If you look at numbers, what is the output you are getting? The output you're getting is based upon first number or first character, as you call it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Based upon the first character of the number, JavaScript is determining which one is smaller, which one is bigger. Agree? This is the normal sort. In normal sorting, it is just looking at the first character. We know that 100 is much more than 5, but 1 is less than 5. That's what could become 1 in the beginning. 2 is less than 5, right? Which is fine. 32 is much greater than 5. But since it is 3, it is just looking at 3. It is not looking 32 as a whole. It's looking at 3. Similarly, 32 and 4, 4 has to be less, but it is looking at only 3. And that is a tricky part in the interview. Majority of the people, whatever you guys have answered, majority of the people, they also answer the same. And that's where it's a problem. First thing, it is not giving you the sorted output in terms of a normal sort. So whenever you're given an array of numbers and you just do array.sort, it will not give you the correct answer. Repeating, whenever giving an array of numbers, in array of string, it will give you the correct answer. Nothing to worry in array of string. It happens lexicographically. In terms of array of numbers, whenever you want to try using dot sort function to get a sorted output in numbers, it will not give you that answer. Part number 1. Part number 2, if it will not give me that answer, but I want the sorted output numerically, how will I find it? Okay. So in order to find that, you have to use something else. Let me just come here. If I have to use a numerical sort I can use in ascending order or I can use in descending order, right? Any order I can use in numerical sort. What will happen in that case? Array2 dot sort. I want to give numbers, right? I don't want to give just the values. So I can create a function a comma b. I can determine return b, sorry, return a minus b. That is in terms of ascending sort. Okay. That is what you call as comparator. Here I go console.log array2. Now you run the code, you will see the output, which gave us error. Okay, let's see what we missed. Array2 dot sort function ends here. Return a minus b. Something I might be missing. This is for what? Okay, let me check again. Function a comma b. This is not required here, and this bracket is here. Okay, now it's fine. Run the code. Now you get the correct output 2, 4, 5, 32, 100. That is the expected output in terms of ascending order. Now let me explain that logic here. When you say function of a comma b and you say, hey, I want to return a minus b, what does actually that mean? So what does that actually does? Three cases are possible whenever you're doing a minus b, right? Or technically comparing any two numbers. Either it can be equal, or it can be same, or it can be positive, it can be negative, right? So a is greater than b, first condition. A is less than b, second condition. A equal to b. Whenever you compare two numbers, that's it. These are the only three conditions possible. When you say a greater than b, output of a minus b will become positive, right? So in that case, b is put what? B is put before it. Okay. Because a is smaller. A less than b, output of a minus will become negative. In that case, a is put before b. A equal to b, output of a minus 1 will become 0. In that case, both are put at same place in chronological order. What do you mean a chronological order? If I give two same values, 2, 2, for example, I give an array like this, then this 2 will happen first, this 2 will happen later. If same value is given, chronological order, the way they have arrived, the way they will be given in the output. That's what it means. Okay. It means just copy paste that. First 2 will appear first, followed by second 2. That is what it means, right? Let's comment this. This is your function, and here is the detail of the function. Now that is a numerical sort based upon ascending order. If I have to give it based upon descending order, how can I do that? Let's say that also. Numerical sort based upon descending order. Okay, fine. I'm clearing it. I'll just change b minus a. That's it. If I do a descending order, I will just do b minus a. Now run the code. Now find the exact reverse order. So this is just a string order based upon the first character of the numbers. This is the ascending order. This is the descending order, right? Let's try to put. There we go. And here we go. We got the ascending order, we got the descending order, and we got the output that we needed, right? And what else? This is normal order, neither ascending nor descending. Cool, guys. I think this is sufficient enough. Anything else, do let me know. If this part is clear, type clear in the chat. Okay. Let's see what else do we have. And then with this, basics of array is done. Copy this. Go to our Sublime text. That is your basics of array. This is the code part. We'll discuss everything in here. And let's go with the output part also. There you go. Good with code both output, right? Now let's go to next, which is function scenario, method scenario, basically. What are array methods or what are array functions? Let's have a look. Okay. There are many different functions which are used with respect to arrays. Let's do one by one. The first function is shift. And you'll be using this a lot in React also. Whenever we're talking about components, we'll have props. If I have to give more than one parameter as an array, then I'll be using all of these array functions in it, right? So it's good to remember it here in JavaScript. So the better will become in JavaScript, the less issues you will face when you go to React or any particular framework. Okay, when you talk about shift means delete from beginning. Shift means delete from beginning. What does that mean? It is going to return me a deleted element from beginning of array. That is what I have. Okay. So when I use the shift function, let's see if I can show the shift and unshift. That's it. There you go. Clear this. I want to create a simple array. In that array, I have created, let's start with this. And I just want answer equal to array dot shift. Semicolon, semicolon. What next I want to give? I want to print my original array first. Then, okay, let's first print answer, then I'll print the original array. All right. Cool, guys. What happens in terms of shift? In terms of shift, it is going to delete it from the beginning, right? What do you mean by delete it from the beginning? Just consider it like moving to the left, right? Just moving to the left. So I take it, I start from here. Two elements are here. Imagine this is the end point, right? This is the end point. You're moving the array to the left. So if you move this array to the left, this first element, this will be cropped off. And then you'll be only left with Sharma or the second string. That's what I was saying. Okay. So it just whatever the first element or the leftmost element that will be deleted. Size obviously will change. Clear the drawings, run it, see the output. Output you have is only Sharma. The size of the array will become only Sharma, right? That's it. Okay. This part clear to all? This part clear to all? Okay. One thing to be clear, guys, a lot of people do confuse it. When you apply, okay, any function in terms of string, it returns a new string. It is not updating the string until and unless you replace it. But array dot shift, array is not immutable. String is immutable, right? Array is not immutable. Immutable in the sense, string, any function you do returns a new string. Updates in the string does not happen. So any string function is not able to modify the original string. It returns a different string. It's a immutable function. It is a mutable data type. Array is not immutable. Array is mutable, right? Means if I do array dot shift, although that I have initialized with a different value, array dot shift means it is telling me what data I have deleted. Array dot shift tells you what data I have deleted. So this delete from beginning. Okay. What did you delete? You delete the first value. So first value deleted, you got the output Devan. Now when I'm printing console.log answer, I'm giving what value I have deleted, which is Devan. But when I'm printed console.log array, in that case, what I'm getting as output? You're getting as output the value that you have deleted. Now, what is your original array? Since your original array will remove the first value or the very first value, in that case, you will just be left with the Sharma. So output is this. arrays are mutable in nature, strings are not mutable in nature. Since strings are not mutable, also called immutable, whatever string function that you're using, they are not going to replace or overwrite your original string. In the case of array, they are going to overwrite your original array, right? So this array will actually have this first element deleted. You'll get the output as Sharma. Run the code again, see the output again. Okay. Copy this. Let me output here also. Deleted element from beginning. Original array after. Let's run this first. Modified original array after deleting from beginning. Let's put it here. Got it here. Copy this. Let's go to your Sublime text. In our Sublime text, I paste it here. I put a chat option here. There you go. That is your shift function. That is your array. Here is your code. In terms of code, you have seen the output. Again, repeating, arrays are mutable. So it is going to update whatever array functions you're going to implement. Okay. Now, what next you have? Next you have is unshift function. Any parameters for shift? Not necessarily. By default, it is from the first character, first particular instance. So no parameters for shift. Then let's talk about unshift, second parameter or second function. Okay. Unshift is exactly opposite of the shift. So this deletes from beginning, returns a deleted element from beginning of array. Unshift, it adds to beginning, add to beginning, number one. Number two, what does it returns? It returns the length of new array. This one gave you the deleted element. This one will give you the length of new array. Okay. I'm going to write the same code. Going to submit code and see the output. Okay. This time I want to use what? This time I want to use unshift function. So in unshift function, I am able to add something. So in terms of add something, I need to mention what I want to add. So I'm going to give unshift and I want to say, hey. Now, what will this do? This will add to the beginning. Clear the console. This will be adding to the beginning. I'll be printing this. I'll be printing the array also. So modified original array after adding element to beginning. Okay. Anybody else? Nope. Enough time. Let's see. Console.log answer array.unshift. What it will give you? Unshift will give you the size after it, right? So size after it, output will become 3. Size will become 3 now. In terms of your array, original array will become what? Your original will become hey. Hey will be appended, so we'll have hey Devang Sharma. I see some people gave the answer. I mean, they think of a correct logic. Okay, I got very incorrect answer also. Some people gave the answer Devang Sharma hey, which is totally incorrect. It will add the string to the beginning. So hey Devang Sharma will be the output. Part 1. Part 2, I see another output. Hey Devang hey. That is also incorrect. It will not overwrite anything, right? So hey, it will just add it to the beginning. Then I see certain output. Hey Devang Sharma and 3. Output of answer would be the size that you will get after adding it. So whatever the size of the length plus 1, that's it. That's all you will get, right? And the output of the original array will get differently. So don't confuse the two. Output will be 3 first of answer and second the original array that you have modified. Let's take Sublime text. There goes your code. We should have written the output also. Anyways, I'll just write it now. The output goes here. Okay. Here also, let me quickly get the output. It's much easier than I will be revising. Okay. Shift and unshift function. These are important ones that we have discussed. Then we have few other ones. Let's walk over through also. Very simple 4 functions we have. Third one is our toString. What is a toString function? As the name suggests, it's going to convert into string. So this converts array to string. What does that mean? It changes the type to string. Okay, let's quickly run at the code. Let's try to check. Here I'm come. Shift I don't need. What do I have to do? Define answer equal to array dot to strings. Okay. Length means number of characters right in array, but here giving number of elements. Length means number of characters right in array, but here gives number. No. Don't confuse. In an array, length means number of element. In a string, it means number of characters. In an array, it means number of elements. String, it is number of characters. Okay. Run the code. What does it give you? It gives you converted in terms of a string. So if you look at the output of answer, this is given two strings, right? Whatever comma values that you have given, comma value based upon how many values are, it just converted into string. And that is your original array, which will remain the same. And if I give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run it again. All of them will be converted into string. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Okay. So take this. Go back. There goes your code. Should not have run it. Anyways. Okay. Now I need to close it all. Okay. There goes your code. And in terms of output, what do we have in the output? That's something we have just seen. Copying this, pasting there. The first value convert everything to the string, and the next value original array will remain as it is. No changes there. Okay. Now let's move to the last one. That was the third function. The last function that we're having in terms of array is join. What do we have the join function for? And what does this join function does? If you remember, there was a function called trim function in the case of a string. Join function that we have in the arrays, it joins arrays. Joins array values by the formatter. Part number done. Second, important, it does not change the type to string. Not many people think when you do or when you join by a particular formatter, it changes the type to string. It does not change the type to string, just to clear. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to join the element, although by joining the element, I don't want to print the output. I don't want to print the output, right? So in that case, let's say the join. There you go. Same console dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to do array dot join by space. I want to print both the values. Run the code, see the output. What do you get? You get Devang Sharma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separated by a space. Whatever formatter you will give, it will join by same formatter. Remove this, run this. It will just keep that formatter, right? If you give a comma, that will give a comma also. Whatever formatter that you are giving here, give a space, it will just give you the output as it is. Original array will not be modified in any way. This part clear to all? Okay. Cool, guys. This part is clear. Now, first let me take this, then I'll ask some other bonus questions for interview. There goes your join. And let's put our output. Okay. Now we are done with our array functions also. So in terms of array, let's quickly revise what we have done and array functions also, and then I'll give you bonus interview questions. First thing first, in terms of code, we define how do we create an array, how do we initialize the values. We can have the original arrays also, we can initialize the values. Print the length of the array, print the length of last element, how to access first element, how to access last element, how to update a value in the array. Arrays are mutable. Whenever you want to update, you can. How to traverse an array, I0 I less than n, just like I do a product code, right? Console.log that we have seen and process.std we have seen, you have seen the differences. How do you want to print in one line? Also, how we want to print in next line. Adding elements push in terms of sorting. We understood what is the problem in JavaScript. JavaScript only checks the first character or only the first number in terms of a number. In that case, it gives me incorrect output. If I do ascending sorting, I have to do something like this. In terms of descending sorting, I have to do something like this. Okay, you see in that. Then we talked about different array methods of function: shift function, unshift function, toString function, and join function. Shift function, what does shift function does? Shift function just delete from the beginning. What does it return? It returns the deleted element, right? And that will be your array. Again, I'm saying arrays are mutable, strings are not. So if strings are immutable, whatever function you're using, you will get the same output, generates a new string every time. Arrays are mutable, so array functions, whatever functions implementing on arrays, they will actually override the original array. Okay. Unshift, it adds to the beginning, returns the length of the new array. So whatever the length of the array, plus one will give you, right? Output 3, it will just add it to the beginning. Two strings, convert everything to the string. This is the output you have got. And then join function, what does that join function does? It joins array values by the formatter, whatever formatter you want to give. Space, comma, percentage, modulus, whatever you want to give. Okay. It does not typecast the string. It does not change the array type to string. That's it. That's what we have discussed so far. Now let's move to a bonus question. Let's see who will give the correct output. I'll give you 15, 30 seconds is fine for it. Take your time, but I want the correct output. When I say correct output, I don't want you guys to run the code. I want you to know the reasoning and then come to a solution. Okay. What does concatenation function does? What does concatenation function does? Come on, guys. We discuss the concatenation function. It concatenates the string, right? The string. I want to mix certain things here. What do I want to do? Let's say I want to create array 1. By the way, you can run without semicolon also. Semicolon is not mandatory in JavaScript. But make it a good habit wherever whichever language has language has semicolon, do use semicolon wherever required. Okay. Now I want to do something like okay. Part 1 and part 2. I want the output of these two lines. That's it. Think about it, then give the answer. Concat function works on strings. I'm trying to make something which I'm trying to use a function which work on strings on arrays. Possible output might work, might not be work. Yeah, array 1, array 2. Possible output might work, might not work, or possible output is like it can give you error, right? So in that case, think about it. I'm giving 30 seconds to all of you. Think what will happen if I try to use a string function over an array. Okay. Will it work? Will it not work? So that is first part. If it will work, what should be the output and why? 30 seconds on the clock. I want all of you to try it out. Try it out in the sense, understand the logic and then tell me rather than running the board. Okay. Cool, guys. I think enough time. Let's see who has given the right answer. Let's run the code first. The correct output is Devang and Hey, and then Devang and Shag. Now, let's see who has given the correct output. First, second, few correct output, few correct output, few incorrect output. Okay. Got it. Now let's come to the answer. Very first thing, array1.concat hey. Concat works on what? Concat works on strings, right? But if we implement on an array, if I want to implement a concatenation of a string, will it work? It will work. No doubt it will work, right? So this will give me output just similar to array.push. It will push at the end of the array, which will give me the correct output, which is array.push, array1.push. Similar to this. Although this concat function is not an array function. Concat function is a string function. My array is mutable, definitely, but mutable only for the array function. This is a string function. So my original array will still remain Devang. So when you say concatenating two arrays, it will not be adding Devang Hey Sharma. It will not be adding Devang Hey Sharma. It will just be adding Devang and Sharma. Okay. Arrays are mutable only for array functions. Right? Not for string functions. Hence, my array1 would remain same. Post that, definitely it will change, but initially array1 would remain same. This was the reason, and few of you have given the correct answer, which is good. Let's clear this. Let's go to Sublime Text. This was a bonus interview question, and here is your output. Fourth line, not updating. Yes, it's not updating the original array. That's what I said. Concat is a string function. It's not an array function. Okay. Replacing again. Concat is a string function, not an array function. There you go. All clear? All clear with this? Cool. This is a good question. Not very popular, but it's a good tricky interview question to be asked. Now we talked about few of, let me give you the agenda for next things. Arrays in JavaScript done. Functions in arrays. That is done. Next, I'm going to talk about sets in JavaScript. And after completing the sets in JavaScript, then we are going to talk about splice and slice function, very important one. After that, we'll talk about arrow functions, and that's it. Nothing much required in JavaScript. Then we'll start with React. IIFE and all we can take in base also. Nothing too much. Okay. Cool. Is there anything specifically you want to discuss in IIFE? Then I can put it in a list of topics. If not, then let me know. Okay, we can talk about the theory. That's fine, not an issue. These four things we should not four things. These three things we definitely should be able to cover. We have around half an hour, right? 20 minutes, half an hour. Anyways, let's try to target to cover all three. So tomorrow we can start with our React. We'll start with the project. So it's much important to use React or utilize React in a real life project. So we can be making some clone, like we can make a real life project if we want to, or we can make a clone of a very popular website like Netflix or YouTube or anything, whatever. Anyways, let's quickly start with next topic, which is sets in JavaScript. Okay. What is the whole use case of set? Set is used to store unique values only. Whenever you're using set in any particular language, data structure would remain same. They are not dependent on language. You want to store only unique values, that is where we go for set. So let's see if I have to make a set in JavaScript, how can I do that and what will be the possible output? So I'm going to clear this all. I'm going to clear the console. I come here. I define that as equal to new set. That's how we define a set. S dot add a copy this. ABC console.log s and console.log s dot size. Run the code. What do you get? My set is size 3 ABC. It is also telling me the size 3. Later also I'm printing the size, which is 3. Easy, nothing to worry about. Easy, nothing to worry about. Okay, now interesting part comes if I do this. Now tell me the output. I just added one more line. What do you think will be the output? Yeah, two times ABC, and what would be the length also? Output would be same as you're seeing on the screen now, right? Run the code. The moment you try to initiate a duplicate or try to insert a duplicate, set does not. Okay, will that A replace this or not? Line number 5. Okay, let me ask you a question this way. The output that you're getting in the A, is it line number 5 or is it line number 2? Just answer 2 or 5. That's it. Is it line number 5 or is it line number 2? Just answer, that's it. Correct. The answer is line number 2. Set does not replace, set does not override, right? So if you try to insert something which is already present in the set, in that case, it will not even accept it. Set does not override, set does not replace, just to be clear. Okay. So output remains same, ABC, side set will be remain 3. Although hash maps and hash set, only hash maps, map actually replace the value for a key value. So if you, let's say, introduce a and 10, and if you say a and 20 in a map, then the map will override the value of a and 10 and it will have the value of a and 20. But set does not override, set does not even accept the same value. Let's try to do the same thing in the array also. I'll copy this ABCA. That will become array dot push. Map only overrides the value, not the key. Overrides the key as well. It only overrides the value. I mean, when you say key value, it's not like keys written separately and value written separately. Map stores as a key value relation, right? So it will just override that key value entity. That's it. So it becomes A, B, C, and D. And in terms of A, B, C, and D, D is not required. Let's put it back A. And if I print console.log array and array.length, clear this and the code. What do you have? You have the set size 3 here and you got the value 4 here. Why? Because my array can contain duplicates because my set cannot. That's why the size was 3 here, but the size is 4 here. This can not contain duplicate, this can contain duplicate. So copy this, and go back to here, paste the code, type the output. Okay. And here in the note, I can add one more statement. Let me add that here. Set cannot override existing values. Okay. That being said, it actually leads to an interesting discussion. If I have to check whether my array contains duplicate or not, how can first, if I have to check a duplicate values exist or not, my size of the array would be greater than size of set. Okay. If it is only unique values or all unique values, then my size of array will be equal to size of set. Double equal to. Cool, guys. This part clear to all? This part clear to all? Okay. Now what next we have? We have splice and slice function, and then we have arrow functions, and that's it. So marking it as done, taking it here. Let's quickly complete these two things also. Splice and slice functions. In array, of course, right? Okay, let's start with first splice function. What do we have in the splice function? Let's see. What the splice function does, it add any number of values at a particular index. It add any number of values at a particular index in an array. Not just one value, not just two values. What have we seen so far? We have seen push. Push adds one value at the end. We have seen unshift. Unshift adds one value at the beginning. At any index, any number of values you want to add, that will be given by splice. Okay. Let me put it here as part of note. Push adds one value at the end of array. And unshift, this adds one value at the beginning of array. Okay. Now let's see. First, it adds new elements to the array. Part one. Part two, what is the first parameter? First parameter is position, where element should be added. Second parameter is what we have. How many values? Second parameter. Then we have last parameter, which is define the elements to be added. And returns what? It returns array of values integrated from it. Now let's have a look. We'll go to the code part, later we'll go to the output part. All right, back on lead code. Let's quickly delete this, clear the console, come back here. I want to use an array basically, which is hello world and that's it. Okay. I want to give array dot splice 2, 1. What else do I want to use? I want to use, let's say, Tutort and academy. Console.log array and console.log answer. Cool, guys. Tell me the output and then we'll have a discussion on the same. What do you think should be the output? Tell me the output, then we'll have discussion on the same. On the place of 1, we should write 2. Okay. I've given you all the parameters what it contains. If you need reference, you can look back here also. What does it do? First parameter, second parameter. Okay. Anyway, let's run it. Then we can have discussion post it. And that would be console on the code. Okay. Now let me just bring it back here. Show you here again. Very first thing. What do we got the output? Hello world coding was my original array. Tutort.academy is here. And I got the array of answer, original array, and then I got the output of answer. What slice returns me array of values that I have deleted. So any value that will be deleted will give me there. First, it adds new elements to the array. Fine. First parameter give me the position where element should be added. Okay. So this position is going to be 0, 1, and 2. This position new value should be added. Second parameter, how many values to be deleted? How many values to be deleted? Since I'm deleting only one value, so it gives the fun value which I'm deleting at index 2, which is coding. That's why the output become coding here, this part. Last parameter defines the elements to be added. So whatever Tutort Academy you have to add, it will just replace, delete the word coding, and it will just replace Tutort Academy. So you got the output, hello world Tutort Academy, and then you got the output coding. Okay. So this answer is giving you the word coding that you have deleted. This is what it's telling you, hey, that I want to add two elements to the array. At one index, I want to delete and I want to update, right? Second parameter, how many values I want to delete? It has deleted one value and it is updated to Tutort Academy. One moment. If I give 2 here, let's see what will be the output in that case. In that case, it will be updating 2 values, right? Same case. 2, 1 or 2, 2, output will be same that, hey, I want to give the position that I want to add is the index 2. In that index 2, what I'm going to update? I'm going to update with Tutort Academy. Let me clear this. Now run the code. Okay. Similarly, if I give 2, 3, now again in the same case, it will remain the same. Now if I clear this, 2, 1 is fine. If I give 1, 1, now see, if you give 1, 1, now what does it mean? It says, hey, I'm going to add one element. I'm going to remove at the one element. So go to index 1. Index 1, it deleted the world. The moment it deleted the world, this would be replaced with world and then replaced Tutort Academy. So coding will remain as it is. At index 1, it's going to replace only Tutort Academy. This part clear to all? This part clear to all? If we do not give a second parameter of 0, then it will shift the last element. Second parameter or 0. How many values to be deleted? Yes, then it will, yeah. Okay. Clear this. Let's try with this. Now you can see it has shifted the element to the right and output will become 0 in that case. Now we give array dot splice 1, 2, then the output. I'll come to that. That is a follow-up question. I'll come to that. But in the meantime, let me just clear this one. Okay. Actually, we talked many use cases, so it's better to document all of them. That was one case. That is array 1. Array 1. What I want to replace was, I think we started with what? We started with 2, 1, right? Let's keep 2, 1 at the beginning. What did it tell you? And there was one more case, I think, if I remember, we discussed. That was 2, 2 or something, right? Okay, now let's go one by one. Very first thing, the first parameter tells me that, hey, I'm going to add new element to the array. So first parameter tells me position where I want to add the element. Okay. This position tells me that index 2 I want to add. Index 2 is coding. Sounds good. Second, it tells you how many values to be deleted. So it says one value to be deleted. So the moment you say one value to be deleted, coding will be deleted because that is at the second index. Then you tell me define the elements to be added. So deleted coding and you are telling that hey, I want to add Tutort Academy. So you just added Tutort Academy. That's what you'll get the output. Next thing, if you look at it, 1, 0, right? 1 means 0, 1 index. At one index, I don't want to delete, don't delete any element. 0 elements I want to delete, means I don't want to delete any element. Since I don't want to delete any elements, in that case, 1, 0, go to index 1, you go to 0. So hello world will remain same it is, but you have to insert elements at Tutort Academy. So you will insert hello Tutort Academy world coding. Then we have 2, 2. So you go to index 2 and then you say, hey, I want to delete 2 elements. If you go to index 2, you cannot delete 2 elements. You can only delete 1 element. So output will remain whatever we have in the first place. So nothing deleted. Nothing deleted here. Coding, only one element deleted. And here, coding, only one element deleted because there are no two elements at index. Okay. Now we can run the code. Now we should see the output, which gives me an error. Identify answer is already okay. Let I have already used. So removing this. Array is not defined. Which array is not defined? Let's clear this. This was array 1. This is fine. Let's make it array 2. Array 2. I'll replace this answer again. This has to be array 2. This has to be array 2. Array 1 is fine. What else? This would be array 3. This would be array 3. Array 3. That looks good. Okay, what is answer 2? Answer I have not replaced. So clearing this. Run this. And I want to give space also. So let me separate. These are very different examples. Okay. Now run this. Now it will give us much better idea. Okay. So 2, 1, go to index 2, delete one element and replace Tutort Academy. Go to index 2, delete one element, which is coding. So what you deleted coding, you got the output here and you added Tutort Academy. Next test case, don't delete any element, type Tutort Academy. Go to index 1, don't delete any element, type Tutort Academy, rest of the elements same. That's why the output here empty. Next, go to index 2, delete two element. If you go to index 2, you cannot delete two element. You can only delete one element, right? So only coding will be deleted. Output will be whatever you're adding after it. Everybody clear with this? Let me know. Any doubt, please ask. Everybody clear with it? Let me know. Any doubt, please ask. Okay, now let me give you one more test case. If you're clear with it, let me give you one more test case. And I want all of you to give correct answer because 3 test cases I've given and explained. 4th test case I want to give you. Okay, let's start with this. This is array 4. Okay. And whatever that comment is, I'm going to remove. And what next? Copy this, paste it. This is array 5. Okay. Enough time, guys. Let's see the answer. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to run the code. Let's see. Okay. Step number 4, test case number 4. Hello world coding. I have not given any other parameters apart from 1 and 2. What does it say? Go to index 1 and do what? Delete 2 values, right? First parameter, go to that index. Second parameter, delete number of values. And next parameters is the values that you have to add. I go to index 1, which is world. It says delete 2 values. So world will be deleted, coding will be deleted. So output of answer will become what? Answer will become world and coding. And what will your original array be left? You will be relating left with only hello. Then you go to next value, you say 2, 1, means go to second index, delete one element. So deleted coding, output will be coding, and you'll be just be left with hello and world. That's it, straightforward. Okay, let's see. This is what we have seen detail of splice function. Going back to my Sublime text, there you go with the code part. Okay. We talked about 5 test cases in detail. Let's talk about the output also. And there we got our output as well. Okay, all the 5 test cases. which is sufficient enough to discuss slice function in detail. Last function we have is the slice function. Arrow function probably will start tomorrow because we are already on time. So let's quickly complete the slice function and then we'll take arrow functions and react in tomorrow's class. What do we have in slice function? Let's have a look. So what does slice function do? First of all, slice does not modify the original array, part number one. Part number two, it returns a new modified array. Okay. The name for this slice, so pretty much something you could have imagined in terms of a string also. We have a slice function string also, there's a slice function array also. Pretty much it does in the case of a string, same it does in the case of an array. Slice out a portion of array from given index. That's it. It slices out the position of an array given from an index. Now, if you're given one parameter, in that case, what will it will do? Let's say slice of index. In that case, it will just returns from that index till the end of the array. Okay, and minus one, of course. And if you're given two parameters, in that case, what it will do? Slice of index comma value, whatever that index. What is it going to return? So it's going to return index comma or index till value minus one. Obviously, it's zero-based indexing, right? That's why. Now let's have a look at the code, then we can take it from there. I'm going to type the code and then the output. Let's quickly go to our lead code. Here we are. Clear this, clear the console, quickly write an array. Let's close this. Let's put it here. Okay. Now what I want to do is console.log my array.slice with just one. This is sufficient. And then of course I want to cross check on my original array. Run this code, see the output, you will realize it. The moment I run this code, what did it say? I want to get it from my first index, right? So 0 and 1 index, I just want to slice it out from my first index. Since I have not given any second parameter, so whatever till the index of last, it will go. So Devang and Sharma, that will be the output, right? Original array will remain the same, nothing changes on the original array. Slice out from 1 to n minus 1. No changes in original array. Okay. Copy this, paste it here. What happens if you give 0, 1? Not 0, 1. What happens if you give 0, 2? If you give 0, 2, let me run this. 0, 2 is slice out from where? 1 to 2 minus, sorry, 0 to 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1, is equal to 1, and no changes in the original array again. That is how the slice works. It just carve out a piece of slice, whatever you need, right? If second parameter is given, it will go to that index minus 1. If no second parameter is given, it will go to the end of the array. Okay. Let's go to Sublime Text back. There goes a piece of code. In terms of output also, let me copy and paste it.